If you're ignoring the silent surge on this blockchain, you could be missing the single biggest shift in finance since the internet itself.
While everyone's out there chasing the next meme coin, Stellar quietly blasted past 15 million daily transactions. And here's the kicker. This isn't retail, not even close. So stick with me for the next few minutes, and I'm going to show you exactly which institutional giants are pulling the strings and the one critical upgrade that's about to open the floodgates.
Okay, so you got to be asking yourself, who is behind all this activity? Well, to figure that out, we have to follow the data. The numbers on chain are telling a story that's pretty wild.
So first up, let's just look at the hard evidence. We're going to unpack the on-chain data to see just how big this quiet surge really is.
Now, check this out. On November 24th, the network just exploded, hitting a massive peak of 15 million transactions in one day. But what's really important here is that it didn't just crash back down. Nope, it's now holding steady at a 7-day average of 9 million. This isn't some random spike, folks. This is the new normal.
To put that into perspective, that means the network is consistently handling over 125 transactions every single second. That kind of sustained, heavy traffic screams real-world usage, not just a bunch of speculative hype. So that brings us right back to the main question. Who is driving all of this?
So who is it? The answer, and this is the core of our analysis today, is what we're calling invisible institutional adoption. Let's peel back the curtain and look at the real drivers behind these numbers.
Let's start with a big one, U.S. Bank. We're talking one of the largest banks in the entire United States. And they're not just writing reports about blockchain, they are actively testing a custom stablecoin on the Stellar network. That is a massive signal that traditional finance is done just talking and is starting to build.
And then you've got the partnership with MoneyGram, which has been going on for a while. This is not a test program. This is a live, functioning, real-world example of how Stellar is powering cross-border payments at scale right now.
And the pattern just keeps going. You've got global investment giants like Franklin Templeton using Stellar. This is proof positive of its appeal to these huge, highly regulated companies that absolutely need compliance and stability. And maybe the biggest vote of confidence of all, the integration of PayPal's own stablecoin, PYUSD. I mean, come on. When a fintech titan like PayPal puts their name and their asset on a network, it sends a crystal clear message about how reliable and ready it is for the mainstream.
All right, if you're finding this inside look at the major players valuable, do me a quick favor. Take a second to hit that like button, share this with someone who needs to see it, and make sure you're subscribed to Crypto Global News. Oh, and don't forget to ring that little bell icon so you get updates just like this one. It really helps a lot.
So here's the key takeaway, the whole philosophy here. It's this idea of invisible infrastructure. The end game isn't that everyone needs to know they're using Stellar. The goal is for billions of people to just use their normal banking or payment apps, and Stellar is the silent, super efficient engine running under the hood.
But to get these institutions on board, you need technology they can actually trust. And that brings us to our next section, how Stellar is quite literally building for banks.
The absolute key here is an upcoming upgrade called Protocol 25, or X-Ray. And you guys, this is a total game changer. It's designed to solve the exact problems that keep banks up at night: privacy and compliance. It brings zero-knowledge capabilities to Stellar, which basically solves one of the biggest reasons banks have been hesitant to use public blockchains.
And listen, this isn't some far-off pipe dream. The timeline is locked in. The testnet goes live on January 7th, 2026, and the full mainnet activation happens just a couple of weeks later on January 22nd. You can feel the momentum building here.
So, what does Protocol 25 actually deliver? 3 huge things. First, private stablecoins, so institutions can move money without showing their entire hand on a public ledger. Second, confidential transfers to protect customer privacy. And third, and this is huge, on-chain KYC compliance, which bakes the rules right into the network itself. Each one of these features is a direct solution to a major headache for banks.
Okay, so you get the institutions on board with privacy and compliance. The next problem you have to solve is scale. So let's talk about Stellar's path to 5,000 transactions per second and what it means to engineer for a truly global scale.
Just look at this comparison for a second. Today, the network is cruising along at over 125 transactions per second, which is already pretty solid. The goal? A staggering 5,000 TPS, all while cutting the block times in half, down to just 2.5 seconds.
We're not talking about a small improvement here. This is like going from a propeller plane to a fighter jet.
All of this, it's pointing to a much bigger trend in the market, something we can call a Layer 1 renaissance. It's a new era where utility is finally becoming the only metric that really matters. And this renaissance idea is pretty simple. The market's focus is shifting fundamentally from just hype to actual real-world use. In this new era, the networks that were built from the ground up with compliance in mind are going to be the ones that lead. Things like institutional-grade privacy won't be a nice-to-have, they'll be the standard. And all of this is going to pour fuel on the fire of tokenizing real-world assets.
So, that leaves us with one last critical question to think about. As we watch these silent, powerful moves being made by the world's biggest financial players, you have to ask yourself, what's really going to define the future of finance? Will it be short-term hype, or will it be the long-term, invisible utility that's being built right now?
Stay ahead in the crypto market. Subscribe now for the latest global news and updates.